What up, bros? Welcome back to Throwing Hands. It's been a minute. It's me. It's Jarrett. We've had some stuff go down, but we're here. We're not going to trauma dump on you guys. We're going to talk about fights. But Jarrett, looking at the card, man, what are you looking forward to?
This main card is extremely slept on. Honestly, it is. It is hot for a UFC fight night. A lot of that usual veteran versus up and comer guys. That these younger guys are a little bit more dangerous on the feet than these older guys, and it's the tale as old as time of can these veterans keep it going, or are they going to get derailed by some up and comer?
For sure.
Love.
Um, we're just gonna preview the main card, but I'm just gonna point out a couple people you should look at for Jillian Robertson. Always a threat on the ground. If you like grappling, she's the best in the division probably when it comes to her jiu-jitsu. Wrestling, not so much, but jiu-jitsu, it's there. Lando Venata, someone else to look out for. He's the guy that almost derailed Tony Ferguson's win streak as a late replacement. I wish we had enjoyable Tony Ferguson fight announcements these days. Zach Cummings versus Ed Herman, two older guys going at it. Zach Cummings, he came on Throwing Hands, actually. This is his first fight in almost 3 years, and he beat Alessio Di Chirico. So, good for him to get back in there. Great flyweight bout here. Brandon Royval versus Mateus Nicolau. Royval, love this guy. He's probably my favorite in the division. He's a baller. He subbed Kai Kara France. Bill Algeo, TJ Brown. That's a good fight there. But open up the card, Rafa Garcia versus main card rather. Rafa Garcia versus Clay Guida. This is Clay Guida's, I believe, his next fight will be his 61st fight, professional fight, which is insane.
It is. I don't understand how you can keep doing it. And, he may not be, getting it done in the way that what people would hold him to for, the legend that he is. He doesn't necessarily get it done in wins and losses. But, dude, my man is absolutely going to go out there and give you a war, something that's fun to watch. And, I'm really excited for Clay Guida fight week. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love Clay Guida fight week. I like Rafa Garcia too. The guy can ball. But my thing is, Clay Guida's in a low key a swan song right now. Winning 2 of his last 3 at his age, and fighting as well as he is right now. Rafa Garcia is good. However, I think the swan song continues. Although his only loss was to Drakkar Klose in the last 3, which is very good. I think Klose is a very solid fighter, but I'm gonna take Clay Guida in this one. Who knows? Maybe we'll hang it up after that. But I love Clay Guida. He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna be a banger. Garcia, a little bit younger, a little bit quicker on the feet, a little bit heavier striking. I'm just gonna say Garcia by decision. I think, Garcia does have a good gas tank. He's got a grappling core. He has 8 or 9 submissions professionally. No, I mean, he's going up against an elite grappler in Guida, or a guy who grapples a lot, not necessarily elite, but grapples a lot. And I think it's going to be a close one, but I just have that feeling that Garcia edges away a decision, but I really want Clay to win.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to think about that one. Ooh, this is a fun fight. Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez. I had the privilege of seeing Chris Gutierrez in person. Dynamic striker. He is fun as hell to watch. And Vince, I'm sorry, you're my guy, but I love Chris Gutierrez. I'm sure you appreciate him too, man. But
Yeah.
these dudes are going to leg kick the hell out of each other. And it is going to be so painful to watch. I remember the Jimmy Rivera Pedro Munoz fight. That might be the most violent fight I've ever seen. They were just leg kicking the hell out of each other. But this is a banger. If you're not paying attention to this, I highly recommend that you do, because this is fight of the night, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a one hell of a card. That's for sure. Like it's banger after banger on the main card. A couple ones on the prelims that are extremely slept on, but this is another banger, man. I'm gonna give the slight edge to Gutierrez. I just think Munoz is kind of on the lower end, on the down slope. But his last four losses, you can't really put anything against them. Cruz, Aldo, Edgar, Aljo, and a no contest to O'Malley. But I just think Chris Gutierrez is a future headliner at the bantamweight division. Honestly,
Yeah. Going into predictions, as much as I love Pedro Munoz so much, I think I think Chris Gutierrez gets him out of there in the second round. I think he's that good.
yes, yes. Seven
What's
fight,
yours?
7 fight win streak. I got Gutierrez by decision.
Yeah, banger. This is fight of the night, guys. I don't care what anyone says. Interesting fight here. Tanner Bozer's coming down from heavyweight to light heavyweight against Ion Cutelaba. I don't even know how to describe Cutelaba at this point. The dude has so much potential, but he puts everything pedal to the metal, and he's sloppy. If he wasn't sloppy, he'd be very, very good. And he's kind of small for the division. I think he should move down. But Tanner Bozer, he was hyped up coming in like, the second coming of something. I don't remember what it was. But or just a great prospect, but he hasn't panned out to his full potential. Maybe I think he might find his full potential here after moving down. We'll see. What are your thoughts on this one?
I do absolutely agree with you. This is Bozer is a guy who had power at heavyweight, and I've seen some things where if you look at his Instagram, he cut down to light heavyweight the correct way, and he's absolutely jacked now. So if he keeps that athleticism and that power that he had to complement his heavyweight game, then he's going to be a problem at light heavyweight. And he's got a pretty good matchup here. Kudalaba, kind of like Munoz, is on that downslope. He's on a skid, to say the least. 3 losses in a row. Last win, he beat Devin Clark, and then 2 straight losses to Ankalaev before that. And I think Bozer keeps that skid going, and I think Bozer gets it done by knockout, honestly.
Yeah, I think Bozer does too, and here's why. You got a guy who's coming down from heavyweight, right? Going up against a guy who, if he, I'm sure he'd be disciplined. I think Kulab is disciplined, but who could cut down to middleweight, probably. So the power and the size difference is going to favor Tanner Bozer. So Bozer by KO. Banger. Asmat Mirzakhanov versus Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby, fun fact, he fought Alex Pereira in Glory. The dude can kickbox. But Mirzakhanov, man, KO TK. He's very, very well rounded. And if you look at who he's fought, Devin Clark and Chukwi, if I'm not mistaken, he's very well rounded. He can get it done anywhere. Although it says 8% sub, he has a future in this division if he can keep it up and stay disciplined. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that I was looking at, and I was like, man, you get a tough toss up loss to Roundtree, and then this is the bounce back fight that they give him. I'm like, man, this this they gave him a killer. Really looking forward to this one though. I think it's going to be real close. I think Jacoby is going to play it smart though. I think he's a little bit more of a technical fighter, and I think he's going to get it done by decision. I think he's going to be able to score some points and piece his way around this one.
Yeah, I mean Mirzakhanov is a great striker, but Jacoby, if you fight in Glory Kickboxing, you're on another level when it comes to your striking. And I think if Mirzakhanov gets to the ground, that's where he'll find his advantage. I know the stats don't show, but he can grapple. But I think Jacoby gets it done by decision. I think he's going to be able to maintain range really well due to his kickboxing background. But yeah, this is 2 exciting guys in light heavyweight. Light heavyweight's getting exciting. Give it a couple years, and it might be the best division in the sport. I'm not even lying. I genuinely think that. Okay, this has fight of the night potential too. Edson Barbosa versus Billy Quarantillo. Banger. This has banger written all over it, and I can't be more excited for this fight.
Yeah, this is a crazy matchup, man. I honestly think it's 50-50. I it's gonna be a barn burner, to say the least, I think. I do give the edge, honestly, to Barbosa. I think he's a little bit more dangerous everywhere, but I mean, tough matchup. Really looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. My thing is Quarantillo's a little younger, and I really wish Edson Barboza had figured out he could move down to featherweight, you know, 10 years ago, because that would have been terrifying because he's not in his prime now. And that Quarantillo fight versus who'd he fight? Shane Burgos at MSG. Come on, click. There we go. That's one of the best fights I've ever seen. And that came after Gaethje versus Chandler. So that was a great fight. His fight against Hernandez proved he could, swang and bang in there. Quarantillo's great, guys. He's someone you definitely want to watch. I think Quarantillo gets it done by decision. I think it has banger potential. But I'll never count Edson Barbosa out. No one kicks as fast as he does. No one does. You can't. He projects nothing. This is a dangerous fight, and I'm all for it.
I'm more excited to watch it than to see a winner. Honestly, it's a complete.
That's a great way to put it. I just want to see a good fight.
Yeah.
The Blessed Express is rolling into St. Louis. Everybody, he's facing off against Arnold Allen. Max Holloway coming off a loss against, I think, the best featherweight title performance potentially ever, with Volk just piecing him up for 5 rounds. And then Arnold Allen coming off a TKO win against Calvin Kattar, although Calvin Kattar did tear his ACL. He still won that fight. He was on his way to winning. I want to say this, that the fact that the judges gave the Kattar Josh Emmett fight to Josh Emmett derailed the course of Kattar's career. Absolutely derailed that. Kattar should have been fighting for that interim title. He really should have, and it's really disappointing because Calvin Kattar's so fun to watch, and he's going to be 35 in May if I'm not mistaken. So it just stinks to see him in the position where he is because of the judges. Judging needs to change, but we're going to talk about Holloway versus Arnold Allen right now. I had to say, I've been waiting to say that for years, but for a year rather. But this is Max Holloway's in such a tough position. His back's against the wall. He's the number two technically because what's his face? Yair Rodriguez is the interim champ. Max is just in a tough position right now because he's at the point where he can win 2-3 fights and he's not going to get a title shot. Yeah. And the weight cut's not getting any easier for him. He struggles every time. And it's only a matter of time before he has to move up to 55. So my concern is Arnold Allen's young. He's hungry. He's extraordinarily skilled on the feet. Yeah. And he possesses power. And one of these days, Max Holloway's chin is going to expire, and it's not going to be pretty. The lights are going to shut out. That's how he's going to go out, guys. That's how it goes. It happened to Chuck Liddell. It happens to so many other people as they get older. And I think Max Holloway's absorbed 1,000 more significant strikes than the next person. That being said, Arnold Allen hasn't faced a guy this caliber. Yeah. And Max Holloway is probably at the tail end of his prime, but he's still in his prime. Volk just came up. That's all it was. He pieced up Yair. He pieced up Kattar. That was horrible. That fight should have been stopped. But can Arnold Allen face the bright lights, Jarrett?
I don't know. It's tough. And I think as much of a tough situation for Max, I think it's just as tough for Arnold. Honestly, I do agree with you. That is a great point that he's hungry, up and coming. Max has a very questionable future in this division. Like, where does he go now? So you can give the mental edge in that aspect to Allen, but this is still Max Holloway. Like, this is still Max Holloway, and as good of a striker as Arnold Allen is, it's Max Holloway, and it's blessed to be the best. Like, it's
the best is blessed.
I just, if I'm gonna pick a fighter to have the odds against him and have his back to the wall, 9 out of 10 times, I'm honestly going to pick Max Holloway. I'm a big Max Holloway fan, and I think he gets it done, honestly.
So you're all aboard the Blessed Express?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think we're mature young men, man. And I think you and I can both recognize that Max Holloway's time is ticking at the top. Yeah. He is only
Yeah.
31, which blows my mind. He came into the UFC at 20. And when you fight the best for that long, something's bound to break. And I hate saying that. I think with how dynamic of a striker Arnold Allen is, I think he's going to be the guy. I think he finishes Holloway. I don't know how he does it. Could be sub, could be TKO, but Arnold Allen's just that much quicker and that much more dynamic. And yes, Holloway, I wouldn't be surprised if Holloway pieces him up. But
Yeah.
I think it's time for Holloway to move up. And I think this might be his wake-up call because that weight cut's not getting any easier. And I think at 55, he can make some noise, a little bit of noise. So let's see. But I think Arnold Allen gets it done by finish. Jarrett, we got loads to talk about on the news front, big dog.
Pull some up.
All right. I'm just going to say this. We're not going to discuss it because it's ridiculous. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, August 5th. That's all you're going to hear from me. Okay. Take it as you will. All right. Oh, Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes coming up in June. I am sick and tired of hearing. I love how she's trying to sell Juliana Pena, but they're gonna strip Amanda if she doesn't fight. There's no reason for the trilogy because it was clearly a fluke, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Amanda and Pena, I listened to the first 10 minutes of the Helwani interview, and she was like, I saw the eyes rolling back in Nunes' eyes when I was punching her. I'm like, dude, you got dominated for 25 minutes. And Pena's like, it doesn't make sense that she didn't want to finish me. I'm like, she wanted to prove a point, and she did. The fact that she gave you more time to knock her out or something shows how great she is. And I just want Amanda Nunes to go in there and just do her thing. Yeah. I'm cool with the trilogy due to the fact that Amanda Nunes gets to go in there and put on a show. I love Amanda Nunes.
Absolutely.
I think you can agree with me on this. Chris Curtis might be the worst loser in the UFC.
Gosh,
he is a sore loser, horrible loser. Like after he lost to Jack Hermanson, what are you doing, dude? Like flicking him off? Oh, he's not doing anything. He pieced you up, dude. You got pieced up by Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson, who's a grappler. And
like salty about not being on the main card too, which hindsight's 2020. Yes, that fight was better than what Raul's was, but dude, come on, you're constantly complaining and stuff, and like you got to realize that if you want to get these pay-per-view main cards, like you constantly complaining about the company and how your fights are going is not going to get you fan support, man. Like
no.
it's not.
Like, and he's like, oh, how did Gaslam move up the rankings this much? I'm like, dude, just stop. Gaslam was clearly reinvigorated in this fight. Happily say it. And I think he won the first 2 rounds pretty convincingly. And Curtis was like, oh, the headbutt. He's appealing the decision. The commission won't do that because it's not intentional. I doubt the commission will accept your appeal. I'm sorry. But dude, it is annoying. You need to just take it on the chin, bro. You lost.
Yeah.
Jarrett, you did combat sports for I don't know how long, bro. I'm sure it's a hell of a lot more personal when you lose in a combat sport. But you just gotta move on, I think.
You do. You gotta just put the head down and move on. That's all it is. Like, and I feel like the constant nagging causes more saltiness, causes more, tension than what needs to be. Like, dude, the fight's done and out of the way. You're a professional athlete. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be good at moving on. Like, no, man. It's back to mental toughness. Like, there's no reason that, in your camp you should be complaining about where your placement is on the card. Like, I get that you're your own, you control how you do and building your stock as an entertainer, but at the same time, man, you got to go out there, focus on your fights, and then not complain about what happens. Like, it was irritating, to say the least.
I'm pulling up something right now because Chris Curtis said he put up the stats for the fight. And he goes, I thought I won. The numbers back it. Tough fight and good for Kelvin Gastelum, but the headbutt cost me the fight on optics. Even with it happening, I still managed to tie the round on strikes. That sucks. It really effing sucks. So I'm going to show you guys two examples of numbers, and you tell me who won the fight. And I'm going to pull up my screen right now. Let me share this real quick. And Jarrett, obviously, feel free to comment. But you look here, right? I guess they haven't put in the significant strike. Oh, yeah, they did. So 80 to 88 total strikes for the fight. Okay. I don't know what Chris Curtis. All right. I guess this is the ESPN stats. So Chris Curtis landed 112 out of 224, right? Okay. Whatever. If you look at the Marlon Vera versus Rob Font fight, look at this. That doesn't show the story. Rob Font outstruck Chito Vera 271 to 159. And do you know who won the fight? Chito Vera on damage. So that is a horrible argument. That is a terrible argument. You can't say that with numbers like, oh, this guy was better. No, that's not how it works. It's effective damage. And Kelvin Gastelum clearly damaged you more, in my opinion, dog. But take your lumps, just go home, go back to the drawing board and get better. That's all you can do. But ranting on Twitter does nothing.
Nothing.
So annoying. Oh, okay. Adesanya got his revenge, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
His celebrations never disappoint. That was insane.
Set it up with the jab, right hand, left hook, boom, out cold. It was awesome. Yeah. Okay, what do you think about the celebration towards Pereira's kid?
I've heard some mixed reactions, and honestly, I don't really see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with it, to be 100% honest.
The sick thing is, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah. I think I get that it's a little bit childish and but let's be honest, people only think it's childish because it's Izzy. People have been on Izzy forever now. It went from everyone loves Izzy to now everyone can't stand Izzy. It's so annoying to me. It's a complete double standard that he celebrates this win for himself. That's a great win for not only him but for his career. And people just find every single thing in the book to throw at him to try and bring him back down. Dude, what for? It was a great fight, great win, great performance, was super entertaining. Why are we as MMA fans trying to bring down one of our biggest superstars?
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't.
And I agree with bringing him down when when the what you gonna call it, the performances are lackluster, even though he promises a banger. I get that. But let the dude celebrate. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. When it was hilarious. And I feel bad for the kid a little bit because you just saw your dad get knocked out, and then the dude who knocked your dad out points right to you and falls down. He was knocked out. That'd be brutal. But I thought I'm off. I love what Izzy said. If you can crawl, you can brawl.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that. I get the kid was 5 at the time, but is what it is. Oh, here's something someone Chris Curtis could learn from. Alex Pereira, when it comes to losing and how to take an L. Beautiful work on his part.
What he said today, he was I didn't read the full thing, so I don't know if this is out of context, but he was the only thing that we learned from this fight is that I get knocked out better than Izzy. That made me laugh.
Okay. Raul Rosas really needs to go back to the drawing table. That was terrible. That was terrible. I mean, I'll never step into the octagon in my life, but this kid, he's a child fighting against he is barely legal. 18. And he's 18.
It's they're beating him up for lunch money, man. Come on, let the kid go.
I think Christian Rodriguez is a very solid fighter. I really do. I'm not even just saying that to bolster Raul, because his composure in the octagon that night was beautiful. So calm. That's going to serve him down the line so well. I've never seen a guy more composed in the octagon. Calm in the scrambles, calm in awkward positions. I haven't seen that. But dude, Raul Rosas has got to figure it out. He has no striking.
Yeah.
He has no striking. I think he needs to take a year or two off. I think Sean O'Malley said this. Get a little bigger, work on the hands and the feet. Your grappling's there. And work on your cardio, bro. You were gassed out at the beginning of the second round. Just, dude, you got to do it, man. I know it sucks, but guess what? By the time you're done with that, you'll be 20.
Yeah.
He has to do it.
I just feel bad for him because I feel like he almost got treated like a PR stunt. You know what I mean? Like, or as I don't know how to put it, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like he got signed and pushed because of his age, not
Yeah.
because like, and I just feel bad for him. Like, and you never know what's going on in these meetings. Like, if Dana's being honest with him, like, hey, we're not expecting anything like too much, like, but it's for marketing. But you got to think that just hurts hurts the kid's ego. Like, it has to. Like, you're on top of the world, you're on the main card with two of the best fighters in the world, and you just don't show up. Like, it's tough, and it's tough to watch. It's tough to see. It's tough to see firsthand.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I think me and you both said before his first fight, they got to be careful because he's so young. Like, if they want to make him an active fighter to push pay-per-view buys, they're gonna only have him for how many years? Because he's gonna be gone. Your body can't take that, dude. He's not even done maturing. Like,
No.
it's easy.
Like, dude, I grew half an inch in college. I was
Yeah.
20. He's still growing. I stopped growing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, he's a kid. Like, and ultimately, it is his decision to sign and try for
Yeah.
UFC. Like, you do that, dog. Like, I am in total support of you. But there comes a point where you have to think and be like, okay, where can I go from here? And he's 20. I mean, no, he's 18. He's not even, he's 18 and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
We
you can
said
still count half ages for him. He's so young. I say I'm 20. I turned 22 and a half last week. I'm proud of it.
Well, it's just like what we said, added on to that. Like, what are you gonna do to develop him? Throw him a bunch of cans for 3 years? Like, come on. It's
And the
just
thing is, it's grown ass men.
yeah.
Like Christian Rodriguez is 25, if I'm not mistaken. He's a young dude. He just turned 25. That's a man.
Yeah.
He's still in his Rosas is still in his kid body. Oh, and to all you jerks out there, like saying like Neep and making fun of him, get a life. Stop it. Like, dude, Rosas is a good dude. Don't. And then you guys were clowning him for saying like things at the press conference. He's 18. Stop.
Yeah.
We're all idiots at 18. He wasn't even saying anything crazy, in my opinion. But if you're clowning on him, being like, "Oh my gosh, it's so stupid what he's saying," look at yourself. Look at your 18-year-old self and tell them, "Oh, you didn't do anything stupid. You won't. Stop." Can you disagree with me on that? You can't.
No, you can't because like I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty well equipped, well spoken person. I would have struggled in a big ass press conference like that. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
yeah.
People need to find other things to talk about. This isn't MMA, but it's WWE. Logan Paul signed a new deal. I'm all for it. Logan Paul is great in WWE. I love it.
Absolutely. He's entertaining. And honestly, oh, I can't stand it. And I can't stand that I'm about to say this, but like so is Jake. Like, Jake is entertaining and he gets the clicks. Do I like the guy? No, not at all. Do I like who he's fighting? No, not at all. Do I like him? No, not at all. But what he's doing is at least some form of good entertainment. You know what I mean? And Logan's even better at it. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, for sure. A couple more things. Dracus Duplessis wants to fight Adesanya. I mean, you know what? Throw him to the Wolves. Duplessis is
Good.
saying some crazy stuff, man. Let's put a card in, like, what's a country between Nigeria and South Africa, something like Namibia or something like that. Throw a card in Namibia or something and
Yeah.
let the people go at it. It will be a blast. Let's put Usman on that card. Let's put
Yeah.
Judo Thunder on that card. Let's make that Africa card, Dana White. Because guess what? This is what people want to see. I don't care. I'm all for it. I don't even care if Dracus doesn't deserve a title shot, because if I'm looking at the rankings right now, there's no one else in that top 5 who deserves a title shot. So I'm all for it.
That'd
Oh,
be
and to his coach, who said Dracus can now breathe 100% out of his nose after only being able to breathe 8. That's the wildest. Some people just can't breathe out of their nose. 8%, dude. If you could only breathe in 8% of oxygen, you wouldn't be able to live. That's
yeah.
a wild statement. But anyway, one more thing. Happy trails to Jorge Masvidal. Retired after the absolute beatdown he took from Gilbert Burns. He made the right decision. And I'm not saying absolute beatdown in a bad way to mock Jorge. That's just what it was. He got beat really badly, and he made the right decision. He explained how he on Hawani, how he saw the punches coming, but he couldn't react. He's getting older. He's 38. I mean, dude's a legend. Whatever you may think of him, you can't deny that he's a legend, guys.
Yeah, I was this is a little bit off topic, but I was just talking to my brother about the Mighty Mouse for Ben Askren trade. And I was like, just think of in hindsight how one-sided that looks. But then whenever you really look at it, look at the star that the UFC got out of it, really, in Jorge Masvidal. Like
Mm.
how much money they have made from that knockout. And they've pushed the game bred persona, the street Jesus. Like they have made a killing with Jorge Masvidal, and now Jorge has turned into a household name in the MMA community. Like, and the UFC still gets a lot of credit for what Mighty Mouse has done, and I mean Ben really never lived up to the hype, but
But he was
I
way
was just
past
thinking,
his prime.
yeah,
If they got a prime Askren, whew.
yeah,
But
I wish,
but happy trails to Jorge Masvidal,
yeah.
legend of the game, legend of the street fighting game. Yeah, man, gotta give it to Jorge. But Jarrett, you got anything else to add, big dog?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. It's good to be back. It's
Yeah, it's
good to
good
be
to be
back.
back. We both had a lot going on, but we plan to stay back as long as possible. We love doing this. But guys, thanks for tuning in. We missed y'all. I hope you missed us, but we'll be back with a review of Fight Night Holloway versus Allen. Peace out.